Right, guys. So we are in Spa this week, and we are on board with my qualifying outlap and prepare for something awful.
Oh, cracking.
Yeah. So that was my outlap, and I pretty much binned it. I didn't have time to, or wouldn't have had time to come back and do another lap. So I didn't actually set a qualifying time, and I forgot to record the qualifying results as well. But I think TNG was on pole, and my teammate actually qualified fifth. So I think that's probably one of his best ever qualifying positions. So clearly going up in the world. But I decided to start on the primes. Didn't really know how long the tyres were going to last because I hadn't really done an awful lot of practice. So I thought I'd go prime, see how long the option runners take to pit. But onto the start now, and the lights are out and we're away and getting an okay-ish start, not the best, but coming into the first corner now, will it be clean? No, it is not. As you see, a few people getting probably bumped straight on there as I try and go around the outside of Techno Elite. I have to back out of that a few times. And then bang, my teammate Mantas goes straight into the wall, flies back across the track. Thankfully, he doesn't take anyone else out. And I get a massive bit of oversteer going up a Rouge there. Although it might have been nice if he did take Techno Elite out, because that would have put me up another place. But then you don't. It's nice to actually win the position fairly, rather than someone taking them out for you. But I'll take the positions anyway they come. But hoping for a decent result this week after my first ever win last week. You see, George tries to go around the outside of Techno Elite and gets forced out wide, which me being the opportunist takes that chance, takes the place even. And I'm up to P5 now. As we skip to the end of lap 1, I've dropped back a bit from Techno Elite. I hadn't done any heavy fuel testing either, so I didn't really know how much earlier to brake. As you see, I'm braking pretty early here, and I've got Shane just behind me. I think it's his first race in Force India, and I know Shane from other leagues and other races. I know he's a pretty quick driver, and he's quite a big threat, I think. So I knew what to expect from him, and coming around the first corner, managed to hold him off a bit, just about going through the last chicane and the first corner. But now on to lap 2. Shane's right behind me again, coming through Bungemon now. And I don't know if you can see that, but to me it looked like Shane got a massive bit of oversteer and was about to fly into the wall. And then all of a sudden I brake a bit earlier, thinking I'm safe for this lap, and then get a wallop from behind, and that was Shane, so clearly a bit of lag there. But now on to the next lap, he's managed to catch me back up, going back through Bungemon. And I don't know if he showed that either, but on my screen, he just went darting off to the right, but I thought I won't take a chance and brake early again. I'll brake a bit later than last time, and as you can see, the arrows were still there, so thankfully I didn't brake too early that Shane would run into the back of me. But it was a bit of lag there. I wasn't too worried about it, but it was a bit distracting. It wasn't it just happened to be Bungemon for some reason where it happened. But now coming up over Rouge, Shane's going to have the DRS on me. I think I'm going to use the rest of my curves. Yes, I am. Shane's going to get the DRS. Can he make it stick? He's going to go around the outside. No, he's still not quite close enough. I'm hitting the limiter, and thankfully that was enough for me to defend, as Shane couldn't quite make the move, even with the DRS. But coming round to the end of lap 4 now, and coming round Stavlo, I just get a massive bit of understeer and a bit of oversteer on the exit and fly into the gravel, losing that place to Shane and gonna gamble. So that's dropped me back down the field to P7. Not exactly where I wanted to be, and especially with no practice on the heavy fuel loads around this track. It would have been nice to be able to hold up a few people and ruin their races. But now I've got Senna Miz just behind me in the HRT, breaking in for the bus stop, and a late dive there into the bus stop, but I see these arrows just in time. Managed to give him a bit of room so he doesn't make any contact, or we don't make any contact with each other. But coming into the first corner now, I'm braking, and another late dive there, but thankfully I see his arrows again. And thankfully, both times we managed to avoid contact, and thankfully I also managed to hold the position. But that was pretty much all that happened until the end of lap 11, and end of lap 10 even. As you see, I'm diving into the pits now, and I've got Techno Elite just in front of me. and the option runners started to pit about lap 9. So and that was probably with qualifying tyres as well. So I knew they could do at least half the race. So I decided to come in at lap 10, start at lap 11, and pit for options. And as you can see, I managed to jump Techno Elite, so that was pretty nice and reassuring. So another easy place there, just by the pit crew there. So that was me up to P7, or coming back out in P7. I don't think everyone had made the pit stops yet, but coming on to round this corner, you see Shane lags again, and I had to slam on the brakes, and Techno Elite was right behind me, and now I've got to go defensive. But I've got a place to Shane, and just got to try and hold off Techno Elite now as I give him room as we go around side by side going through Bunchemon and breaking into the chicane. I'm thinking he's going to make a move, but surprisingly he doesn't. So I wasn't going to argue with that. I was pretty pleased that Techno Elite didn't make a move. And now I'm putting the hammer down, going for the rich fuel mixture, and going to just try and create a bit of a gap now, as I knew Techno Elite was on the on the primes as I looked at the track, the race director even, when I came into the pits. But coming through Rouge now, Techno Elite should probably get DRS, and yes, he'll definitely get DRS. It's pretty much up my gearbox. But I'm using all of my curves again, hitting the rev limiter again, and Techno Elite's got DRS, and he can't quite make the move stick either, unless I go straight on, which I don't. So hold it, slow it down pretty well. But Techno Elite's still on the attack. I'm holding my line, giving him room as well, just so we don't make any contact. But still managing to hold the position, and I'm cementing P5 now. And it's all good at the moment. I'm pretty sure I wasn't going to win because the other guys at the front were quite a way in front. But on to lap 13 now. I'm still in with a chance of a podium. And so Gonna Gamble loses the back end coming out of Stavilo, and I go round the outside using, just running into the gravel a bit, but using the rest of my curves just to get away from Gonna Gamble a bit. Securing P4, and I've got Gonna Gamble right on my gearbox now, and he's definitely going to get DRS. I'm going to use the rest of my curves just like normal when I'm under the cosh. And Gonna Gamble should be close enough, and he goes round the outside, but I brake later. Managed to slow the car down enough, give him a bit of room, not much, but enough, and that means I can secure P4 for now. And basically that was all that happens. I did actually close the gap to Jay from 10 to 5 seconds, but it was too little too late, and it wasn't really the most interesting of races. But as we come around the last corner now, to finish in a solid P4, and I'm pretty pleased with that. And yeah, so it was a nice 12 points. So join me next week for the Monza race, where we've seen last season that I did pretty well there, and let's just hope that I can continue my good run in Monza. So thanks guys, see you next week.